Hey there, BKFK listeners. I'm in my studio and I have a huge giant sitting behind me, breathing down my throat.
Gerard!
Exactly. It's Gerard the Giant. He wants to say a word of thanks to our
Patreon supporters!
Precisely.
In fact, this week, there is one in particular. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. A huge BKFK shout-out to Landon!
Thank you, Landon, and thanks so much, Gerard.
My pleasure.
Okay, let's hear who the superstars are for this episode.
I'm Isabel. I'm 8 years old. I'm from London and I like piano.
My name is Yoonji. I am 9 years old. I'm from Korea and I live in Jordan. And my favorite thing is swimming.
Hi, I'm Ozzy. I really like riding my bike and I also like dragons and Lego and I'm from Colorado. I'm 7.
My name is Freya and I'm 7 years old and I live in London and I like to play the drums.
Great job, guys. We've had some really good auditions coming in. If you guys would like to be a BKFK superstar too, then go to bykids4kids.co and click on Audition. Okay, a word of warning. I repeat, a word of warning. This episode is really disgusting. There are revolting recipes and a lot of burping. Be warned.
The Great Escape of Sylvaris the Elf. This tale begins on the magical island named Magimajura, where enchantment fills the air like a secret song. The island is a bustling home to all sorts of weird and wonderful creatures like gnomes, werewolves, living skeletons, witches, centaurs, and many more. In the Whimsical Whispering Woods lived a joyful little elf named Sylvaris. She had pointy ears just like all elves, but they were decorated with all sorts of colorful, shiny things like tiny bells, beads, and even a feather or two. Her hair was like a wild explosion of colors. One day it might be bright blue, and the next day it could be a sunny yellow, or even a mix of green and pink stripes. It changed as often as the seasons, just like her moods. She wore long, flowy skirts with all sorts of patterns, like stripes, polka dots, and even some sparkly stars. Her shoes are big and comfy, and they have bells on them that go jingle-jangle with every step she takes. Sylvaris was known throughout the land for her kindness and her scrumptious baked goods. Her cozy home, nestled in the heart of the forest, was always open to her friends, who would delight in coming over for tea. One morning, as the sun painted the sky pink and gold, Sylvaris wandered deeper into the Whimsical Whispering Woods than she ever had before. Birds sang beautiful tunes, and butterflies danced around her as she collected colorful flowers. It was then that she heard a scary rumble, a sound that sent shivers down her spine. Out from behind the gnarled trees and twisted vines emerged the most terrifying creatures you could ever imagine. First, there was Grumblegut, the ogre. He was as tall as 3 elves stacked on top of each other, with skin as rough as tree bark and teeth like jagged rocks. He had a putrid stink that could make flowers die instantly. Next came Trolla, the troll. She was short and squat, with mossy matted hair that dangled over her face like a curtain. Her warty green skin was covered in dirt and grime, and her long spindly fingers ended in gnarled claws that scraped the ground as she walked. Finally, there was Snotbeard the giant. He was a colossal mountain of a creature, his body a patchwork of bulging muscles and leathery skin. His feet were as big as tree trunks, and each step he took sent tremors through the ground, causing birds to scatter and leaves to fall. I don't think I need to explain his disgusting name. Sylvaris trembled as they surrounded her, their foul breath making her eyes water. Grumblegut's voice rumbled like thunder.
You little elf, you're coming with us.
Terrified, Sylvaris had no choice but to follow them deeper into the forest, where they led her to a dark and eerie cave. Inside, the air was thick with an unpleasant smell, and the walls were covered in slimy moss and crawling insects. Grumblegut grinned wickedly.
You're gonna cook for us, elf, and none of your revolting salads and all that nonsense. We want good and stinky monster food.
And so Sylvaris found herself trapped in the cave, forced to cook for the terrible trio. She had to prepare the most revolting meals imaginable, each one more stomach-turning than the last.
Maggot pie? A pie filled with squirming, reeling maggots, their slimy bodies oozing out with every bite. Sludge soup. A thick green soup made from murky swamp water, blended with slimy moss and chunks of rotting leaves. Spider stew. A bubbling cauldron filled with hairy, 8-legged spiders, their eyes staring up from the boiling broth. Blech. Snot sandwiches. Sandwiches made from bread covered with gooey green snot collected from swamp creatures. Earwax eclairs. Cream-filled eclairs with a surprise twist. Earwax instead of custard. Toenail tacos. Tacos filled with toenail clippings, chewy and crunchy with each bite. Frog leg fritters. Fritters made from frog legs with a side of slimy snail sauce. Rancid ratatouille, a dish of overcooked vegetables swimming in a stinking tomato sauce, topped with rat chunks. Blech. Wormy waffles, waffles with wiggling earthworms instead of syrup. Blech. Centipede surprise, a cake with a surprise layer of squirming centipedes in the middle.
Weeks turned into months, and Sylvaris' spirit was fading fast.
I miss my friends, my warm home, and the laughter that once filled my days. I must find a way to escape the clutches of the terrible trio of monsters.
One day, while the monsters were napping after a particularly gruesome meal of centipede surprise, Sylvaris stumbled upon an ancient recipe book hidden in the darkest corner of the cave.
It contains a recipe for a magical potion known as the Burping Brew.
With newfound hope, Sylvaris gathered the ingredients she needed.
Burping beetle bubbles, hiccup herbs, and belch berries.
She worked tirelessly, brewing the potion in secret. When the potion was ready, Sylvaris served it to the terrible trio.
Oh dear ogre, troll, and giant, I have tried a new recipe that I think you will find truly disgusting and absolutely revolting.
Grumblegut, Trolla, and Snotbeard looked at the bubbling, gloopy, sticky liquid and licked their slimy lips. They held out their mugs to Sylvaris, who filled them to the top. The grisly gang each picked up a mug. Grumblegut smelled it with his warty nose and said,
It smells like a zombie's armpit. Yum!
Trolla dipped a filthy finger in it and lifted it up.
Look how wonderfully slimy it is.
She growled.
It sticks to my finger like the finest ooze.
Snotbeard cleared out his filthy ear and held the mug closer for a listen.
I can hear it bubbling,
He said,
It's so deliciously gloopy.
Cheers!
roared the monsters, and they glugged the potion down. Suddenly, a strange sensation overcame them.
What's happening?
They exclaimed. At first, they let out small burps, which soon grew louder and more uncontrollable. The cave echoed with burps, hiccups, and belches. Sylvaris seized her chance and dashed past the burping monsters.
This is my moment!
She thought, running as fast as her tiny legs could carry her. She raced through the forest, not looking back until she reached her oak tree home. Her forest friends rejoiced to see her safe and sound.
We missed you so much,
They exclaimed.
but you smell awful.
After a long soak in the bath and a good scrubbing, Sylvaris joined her friends and they celebrated with a grand feast of her delicious treats. As for Grumblegut, Trolla, and Snotbeard, they were left in their cave, burping and hiccuping for days on end.
Hey guys, if you like this episode, please share it with your friends and family. It is one of the best ways to support BKFK Storytime.